My dear friends, we're starting Shir Hashirim, a new mimer. But before we start the mimer, I would like to share what the mimer is going to talk about. There's a famous thing in Torah that when a man and a woman are married, how is it if they're going to have a boy or a girl? In other words, how could you have that it should be a boy, and how could you have that it should be a girl?
We studied it.
You remember this? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So the Likkutei Torah says, this is not like science. Ish mazriat tchila yeledes nekeva, Isha mazrees tchila yeledes zachar. So, okay, I'll keep going. Yeah, 1 minute, yeah. One second. So Ish mazriat tchila means if the first initiation, inspiration that comes from the husband, or as the husband gives the zera of the husband first, so then it's going to be a girl. If the woman is the one that gives the zera, what is it? Let me explain to you. There's only 24 hours that the egg is in the spot where if the sperm hits it, it can become a child. So now, if the egg comes from the mother, the sperm comes to the father. So if the egg was there first, and then the sperm hits it, so then it's a boy. If the sperm was there first, and then the egg comes there, it's a nekeva. Okay?
Yeah. But it said also that with that, it's still.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
There's an example from the Torah when it's
Leah, and Dinah.
Mm-hmm.
So now the question is: could I pray to Hashem to have a boy or a girl? Could I ask Hashem?
You can always ask Hashem.
So the Torah says an interesting thing: in the first 40 days from conception,
you could
still ask Hashem to make it change it. Meaning, let's say you hit to be a zachar. Let's say you could still ask Hashem. You know what? Make it a nekeva. Like Leah. Leah knew she became pregnant. She didn't want to have another boy. So she asked Hashem, could you make it a girl? And that's why she called her Dinah. Because Dinah is the Melashon Din. She made a judgment on herself. She didn't want to have another boy. She had 6 boys already. She wanted a girl. The Yerushalmi says that even before you give birth, that means in the 9th month, you could also pray to change. But that's already a whole different thing. We don't believe it. We don't want to get into the heavy. We want to go into such a heavy thing. So the question is, why is it if the man, something doesn't make sense here. If the man emanates first, which he's a zachar, the husband is a zachar, is going to get a nekeva. The woman, which is the nekeva, is going to get a zachar. How does it work? So the philosophers, going back like 2,000 years, 3,000 years, were trying to figure it out. And they came out with this solution like this. This is called, what dominates, the top or the bottom?
The top.
So when you put something in a pot, let's say you have a pot that's bubbling hot, and you have another pot that you're pouring cold water from the top, and now the cold water is going into the hot pot. Is the hot pot from the bottom dominating the cold water from the top? So basically the top is also considered hot because the top is cold. But if the bottom is what dominates, so we're going to consider the top as also as hot water, or do we say the top dominates? You got the question? We have it a lot when it comes to kosher. Like in kosher things, when you mix 2 things together, let's say I take a pot of soup, a kosher pot of soup, and I'm pouring it into a non-kosher pot of soup. So there's a pot of soup here, and I'm taking kosher and I'm pouring it. So while it's pouring, does the top pot become non-kosher?
No. So did not touch it.
No, the flow is touching.
No, but the top
Doesn't it depend upon 60 to 1?
No. The top pot is kosher.
I got it, but if there's
I'm speaking about the top part. I'm not speaking about the bottom
The
part.
top stays kosher.
Or becomes that. Not the top is 100% kosher. But the fact that
I think
When
it's
you push,
if the stream
to a non-kosher,
because it's going from up
Going
to
down.
down. It's never going from down to up. So,
but the question is the fact that there's a stream that connects two things together make it one entity or not?
That's a good question.
That's why I'm asking you. I wouldn't ask you.
Both pots did not make a physical touch.
They did. The stream touched it together.
The stream is not from a non-kosher into a kosher. The stream
Okay,
is from
okay.
a kosher into a non-kosher. So the kosher still stays kosher.
So the way-
non-kosher still stays non-kosher.
Okay, so the Torah says like this: if both pots are cold soup, the top is a cold soup and the bottom is a cold soup, so the stream does not connect it.
Oh, if it's
But if the bottom soup is hot,
okay.
what does hot do? It gives vapor.
And wants to go up.
Vapor is
It rises.
right.
it rises.
So the steam rises it and it connects the top to the bottom.
וחלל.
Well, yeah.
Halal, okay.
אז אם שמת משהו קר למשהו שהוא לא כשר שלמעלה,
And it's hot, bubbling hot. It's going to make the top not kosher.
So it doesn't matter what's the top. If it's
That's
hot or
only if
cold.
it's halal.
Yeah,
As long
it's
as
only
the
the
bottom is
bottom,
hot.
right? So that means the bottom dominates. So they want to come up with this philosophy like this: that if the zachor gives his thing first, and then the nekeva, so the nekeva is like the top pot, the whole thing. So the top is going to dominate, according to the scientists, and therefore it's going to be a girl. And if the bottom is if the girl comes, if the boy comes second, so that means he's dominating. That's what they say. The Alter Rebbe says it doesn't make sense. Why? Because the Torah specifically says these words: Isha, ki tazria v'yolda zachor. It's written in the Torah that when the woman emanates the egg first, she is going to give birth to the zachar, not because he dominates. That means from the woman itself comes the zachar. And from the man itself comes the nekeva. Basically, everyone is creating the opposite of themselves. It's not because this came first and that came second and the top dominates or the bottom dominates. Forget about that. The woman itself that emanates the egg, that itself causes that it should be a zachar. Why? Why, if the woman emanates, that itself makes a zachar, and the top emanates the man, then it's a nekeva. So the Torah says a very interesting thing. The difference between a zachar and a nekeva is Hashem and the Jewish people. Hashem is the zachar, the ish, and we are the isha. Now listen to this. Very powerful. This is this maimah. You're going to love this maimah because this is the first maimah you learn as a child when you're like 14 years old. This concept. What is the concept? There's two ways to get inspired to connect to Hashem. One is Hashem inspires you. Let's say Hashem does a miracle in your life. Hashem gives you a gift, you get inspired. So it came from who? From Hashem. And you got inspired. The problem is, since it comes from Hashem, it wasn't something you worked on. So the inspiration comes and it could go fast away. You get inspired, and a day later it's like, okay, thank you Hashem, I'm moving on in life. But if it's something that I worked on myself, and I really understand the greatness of Hashem, and I really comprehend the greatness of Hashem, and that created to me to get connected, that stays much longer. Now, what is the difference between a zachar and a nekeva? According to Torah, a zachar is a stronger personality.
Right.
A man could go work and bang buildings down, smash things. A woman is not meant to be a very strong person.
Adina.
more, some women, not most
Yeah,
women.
they would
So I'm
do
not
that.
saying today's women, but usually. So what happens is, when you get inspired from Hashem, that means when the man gives the inspiration, then it's a weak outcome. You're going to get in the keva. What in the keva mean? It's not going to last. But when the inspiration is from you, that you're working and you're inspiring yourself, then it's going to be zachar, it's going to last for a long time. Do you got the concept or no?
What is lasting for long or no?
Short could be a day or two or a few days. Long means it's permanent.
Lifetime.
It's a lifetime.
Why the
Differentiation.
I'll give you an example. Let me give you one more example. Let's say someone taught you a skill. What skill? Cutting diamonds. Or doing a surgery. Or an artist. Someone taught it to you. It wasn't something that you were like you born. Some people have like a chush, a feeling that they are natural talent. They just have to develop it.
They make something from nothing, kind of.
Yeah, they have to develop it. But then there's some people, they have a teacher, sits down and teaches them this talent that's not really them. And the teacher's teaching them, and they walk away, and they're trying to do it, but it's not coming. It's not
I understand this point. The point that if someone giving you, or you are studying it by yourself with the effort, or with the sweater, that I understand. But how it's connected to the
Zachar and Nekeva? Because Zachar means strength and permanent. Nekeva means soft and temporary.
why temporary?
Not temporary, but it's not a. It says there's a famous
Not a
thing.
dominant.
There's a famous thing in Torah. Noshim daiton kalot.
Right.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
Like, why did the snake come to Chava? Why didn't she go to Adam?
It was easier to
Easier
perceive.
for to convince her.
It's easier to convince the Nekeva than the Zachar. So the strength, when I say strength, it's not only physical, but the strength of like being firm in their mind is easy to change. By a Zachar, it's a stronger connection, so it's harder to change their way of thinking.
If you're a man, you keep your last name. If you're a woman, then you take the last name.
But what am I trying to bring out? This same thing is with Hashem and the Jewish people. Let's see, Hashem took us out of Egypt. He split the sea, gave us the Torah, and what happened 40 days later? We made an egel. What happened? You saw Hashem. Hashem took you out, gave you plagues, but it came all from Hashem. The Jews were not ready, they didn't work on themselves to say, okay, you know what? So then, 40 days later, it's like boom, it's like it never happened. When after 40 years and the Jews worked on themselves and this, now if they start learning, it stays with them. So, there's like, what's the difference? Why when I give you a gift, you lose it fast? And when you work for the money, you keep it. Because a gift comes from someone else. So you're like the receiver, and this person is the provider. So you didn't earn it. So if you didn't earn it, it stays less, boom. Like when people win the lottery, they lose it faster than they won it.
What about an idea that someone forms based on someone else's teachings? Like someone forms their own idea or their own opinion based on what they learned from someone else.
Okay, so they took the inspiration, and now they developed it, and they worked with it, and they made it into something special, and now it's going to stay forever, because they didn't just take, it's not like, whatever you said, I repeat. There's called a tape recorder, and then there is being your own creative mind. There's some people that are good tape recorders. They hear a nice idea and they can repeat it. Yeah. But weren't creative to come up with the idea. Then there's some people, they take this nice idea and then they're creative to create from this idea a new idea. or a new concept, that's your creation. That's the coming from you. That's going to last forever.
There's those that have a patent to develop something,
Yeah.
and then there are those that try to steal the patent.
Yeah, if you still have patent, then it's not going to last.
You're
Yeah.
able to work on it right.
Just a question, is Machatzit shekel anywhere had to do this or not? And in terms of that, everybody gives, contributes, so you feel connected.
Oh, you mean why everyone had to give?
Right.
Okay, yeah, that could be.
Because
I know.
when you build a house, or your partner and the company, whatever, you contribute, you put your part in it, you feel more connected.
100%.
And then what about like an improvisation of an existing idea? Is that also
Yeah.
repetition?
As long as you work on it, you
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The Torah is very clear.
You understand what's going on, Chavra? So it's how the Torah says an expression. If Hashem inspires you, it's from a higher level. But if you get inspired, Hashem cherishes it more. Because He knows it's going to stay with you forever.
So in a way, it's a higher
So
level.
it's dependent upon the origin.
When Hashem does something, it's infinite.
No, but we are.
It can be starting from you, and then he had
Oh,
we are limited, so
okay, that's what he's going to
That's why
say.
it's given enough.
Now here goes the next key. Once you are inspired on your own, then you awaken Hashem to respond the same way. But the response that Hashem is going to give you is going to be far higher than if Hashem did it on His own.
Right, because you started.
It's like a father and a child. Imagine a father teaches a child, a trade, and he's teaching and teaching and teaching, and the child has to learn because his father, this is the only child he has that's going to take over his trade. Or the child comes to the father and says, "Father, I tried the trade, I'm learning, and I'm trying more. Could you..." There the father gets such a pleasure that he all of a sudden comes such a different energy to help this child. The same thing with us and Hashem. If Hashem gives it to us, beautiful, but we lose it. But if we work on it, then Hashem's response to us is even deeper and higher. In the words of Kabbalah, it goes like this: Isirusa de latata, Isiruta de la'ela. Isiruta de latata means you're awakening from tata, means the bottom. Isirusa de la'ela means awakening from above. Awakening from above is from God. Awakening from the bottom is from you. But when you do it, then you're going to get God to get even better. You agree? So let's read inside. We're going to just learn one paragraph today, only till page 124. As I felt it was more important to understand what we're going to learn than to walk out that at least I don't understand what I understood. But here, at least you'll walk out and you say, wow, it makes sense. It's also, by the way, it works with marriage, also the same thing. It's funny. Like sometimes you want to inspire the spouse to get inspired. Yeah, you buy them a gift. You bring them flowers, whatever, Then there is that they are initiating the inspiration to you. Then all of a sudden your response is far. Well, imagine, I hope it happens to everyone. You come home and you see the whole table is set for like a 7-course dinner on a regular Tuesday night. You say to you, what happened? I want to show I appreciate you. Do you ever happen such a mistake? Ever happen?
No. Mistake?
Never?
Mistake, huh?
No. But you understand what I'm trying to bring out. So now the Isusa de Latata awakened in you a much deeper Isusa de La'ela, meaning your inspiration back is going to be far deeper. Because why? You peeled the potatoes yourself, and you made the kugel, and you fried the latkes yourself, and you went and you made the dough yourself, and you prepared it for me. Like, what am I? I appreciate that you work a whole day for me. I just wanted to show I appreciate you. And you're going to start laughing. I don't believe I'm married to this woman. Is this the right guy I'm married to? Who's this?
Then you ask, what did you do?
What did I do? Are you tricking me? Are you tricking me here? Are you getting me in a trick?
To deserve what is good.
Anyways, that's the same thing with us and Hashem. Hashem tries to inspire us. He tries to shoot inspiration, but He wants that we should take it, but then work on it and get inspired, and now shoot it back to Hashem so He could shoot you a much higher inspiration. It's like we went to the Rebbe's room yesterday. You felt like a Now you have to take that inspiration and make it change your life with it and shoot it back, and then the representative is a higher level. We're just going to do this page. Lahavin inyan hatam lamasher surusa de elaila haba achar susaltata. What's the surusa de elaila? The awakening from Hashem that comes after your awakening. What does it say? Isha ki tazriya. When a woman inspires first. Azai v'yolda zacha, you're going to get a zacha. Shehi, this is by the way in the Chumash. Shehi b'chinas ahava rabba b'neshamas. That's when a soul loves Hashem, which is the woman inspiring Hashem shalom kazavas. That is, if you love Hashem first, and it's your effort and your inspiration, Hashem is going to respond to you powerful. Mashein kain. But if Hashem has to awaken you, that means it comes from above, then it's Ishmazir. Then it's a man that's inspiring first. And what happens if a man inspires first? Azai Eina Yolda Ella Nekeva. You're only going to have a Nekeva. Shu Avazut, it's a small love. Al Derech Noshim Daiten Kalais. Women is easy to persuade their mind. Shu'ava Manasa Kalapras, that's when you love Hashem because you want to get a benefit from it. That's not the... So we're going to explain the difference. Got it? Another thing I want to explain is what Shlomo Melech says in Shir Hashirim, Tsa'ena, Ure'ena Benos Tzion Ba'Torah. I want you to go out of yourself and see the crown of Hashem. Now the crown is the highest level. There's 10 sfirot. Right. As we show you here, there's the 10 sfirot, and the crown is right here. Okay. So Shlomo Melech says, get out of yourself and go look at the crown of Hashem. They're basically looking at the essence of Hashem. So you ask a simple question. It doesn't make sense. Shlomo Melech says, I want you to go out of yourself, take off all your clothing, and see the essence of Hashem. He says, I don't understand. When our soul goes to Gan Eden, the only way you're going to be able to enjoy the light of Gan Eden if you have garments. It's like you go outside, if you want to look at the sun, you only can have
filters.
Only if you have sunglasses. If you look at the sun without the sunglasses, kaput.
Well, the garments,
so, when our soul goes to Gan Eden, in order to enjoy the light of Hashem, we have to have God. What is it? Torah and mitzvahs. That's why we do all the mitzvahs. It becomes, every mitzvah we do is like a garment. We learn, it becomes a garment. So when our soul leaves, we have all these garments so we can enjoy the light of Hashem. But Shlomo Melech is saying here, the crown of Hashem, which is the highest, take off your garments. How am I going to... If for just enjoying a little light of Hashem in Gan Eden, I need garments, so I don't plots. To get the essence of Hashem, for sure I need garments. He says, no, Tsa'ena, Ure'ena. Get out of yourself, take off your garments, and look at the crown. The crown is much higher, then I don't use garments. And when I get the little light in Gan Eden, I do use garments.
Maybe it depends on the height.
He says, L'chura klapi laya. Klapi laya means it's like a when I say it's like I don't want to say the word joke, but it doesn't make sense. It's the crown. The crown is the highest. When you only get a little ray of Gan Eden, you need garments. There's no way to look at the sun. zechuchit. What is it? A glass. Why? So how could it be that to get keter, I take off all the garments? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because that's what I just said.
Right.
The higher you are in your level of kedusha, the less garment you need. It's like Moshe Rabbeinu did not need all those garments. He was like so high that he could have almost faced.
No, but here he's saying a different thing. I agree with you. What he's saying is like this: for all of us to get a little light of Hashem, we have to have garments. Why? If not, we're going to plots. Now Shlomo Melech is telling you, go, take off your garments and go to a higher light. Go to the Keter. Plots means you're going to explode. What's potzet? Plots. It's a French word. But if now Shlomo Melech says, I want to show you the Keter. Keter is the highest level, right here. There, take off your garments. Why should I need more garments because it's such a high light. Imagine when I look at this light, how long could you stare on this light?
Limited.
Not also a limit.
Right.
The sun, for sure I need.
Right.
So if for this light I need glasses, so for the sun for sure I need. So Keter I should for sure need a garment. So he says, "V'yuven zeb" on the left side, 123, being close to the Chayes Hashem Yisrael, she's being in Hashpah. There's two ways Hashem deals with this world. Ha'alef hu ba v'nimshach tamach u'mayla mulmata, av shelo yadei susat osman nagnu me'el chavitzcha m'chashu tevigam tamach. You see it? Bereshis. There is the light of Hashem that is here always. Whether the Jew does mitzvahs, doesn't do mitzvahs, it doesn't make a difference. Hashem every day makes this world exist. Whatever you do, He's not stopping this creation, my friend. You could be doing sins every single day. Mechadesh v'tuvoi b'chol yom tamid. God is just going to make this world exist. Make it exist. It's called a regular pace of creation. There's nothing you can do to change that. That's going to stay forever. Even though it's because Hashem loves to create this world. How much energy does Hashem use to create this world?
Nothing.
It's called exterior. Chitzoniyut. Chitzoniyut means just like
A puffer one.
just X. V'lachein, it doesn't change. Every day it's the same thing. The sun is the same sun. The moon is the same moon. I mean, it waxes, wanes, but it's the same size. Everything is the same. The world is just creating, revolving. That is called the regular energy that Hashem brings to this world. It has nothing to do with us. It's like the man that emanates the Zerat Chila. It just comes from Hashem. Chafetz Chesed hu. However, turn the page. That is the regular thing. But page 124. V'abchina Shainis, the higher level of godliness. B'chinas hashpa ba v'nimshach meb'chinas pnimiyut yoseh mashpa Shayna. There's a higher level that Hashem brings to this world that comes from a much deeper level of Hashem, and there's many levels. How do we get that? We have to initiate it. So the creation of the world, we don't have to do anything. Every day God just creates and creates and creates and creates and creates till He ran plots, and it doesn't matter. He's just creating the world. But if we want to get a deeper energy, or more, we have to initiate it. How? How? Zichuch Rav. Zichuch means refine yourself.
Oh yeah.
When you refine yourself, that's like your initiation.
Refine what?
Your chomeriyut.
הרצון לקבל.
All right.
Clean up your act.
Clean up your act. Look what he says. You know what halas man means? Your initiation. The initiation that comes from the bottom up. Man is mei nukvin, that you shoot up. Shubchinas habitul. My habitul means my being nullified. Milmata l'mayla. And then Hashem says, you know what? I see you inspired me. I'm going to give you a deeper life. You know, it's like a famous... When you pray on Rosh Hashanah for life, what do you pray for? To live longer physically or to have a life in your life?
B. Answer is B.
When you say Zochreinu l'chaim, melechafetz b'chaim, v'chasveinu b'sefer ha'chaim, what are you talking about? To exist or to live?
To live.
Yes.
To live.
Exist. You don't need to pray. That's you good. That God makes the world exist. What we want is that the life that God gives us should be from a deeper level, so we don't just exist, we live with a purpose. I want to live with a happiness. I want to live with a purpose. I want to live with an energy.
Absolutely.
That's what we're praying for. So how does Hashem say? Hashem says, no problem. If I see you're initiating, I'll respond in that way. Because it has to come from you. If you want me, you want a deeper life, a higher life, a more spiritual, godly life, initiate it. I'll give it to you. That's a susa l'tata susa ela.
So it has to come from
Initiate means like what? I mean, not specific.
I'll give you an example.
Like, is it
Every
studying
time,
Torah, or is it
like we learned last,
Ishtablut?
like we learned last week. Every time I hold myself in from saying lashon hara. Every time I want to scream at someone, I hold myself in. I give tzedakah. I learn Torah. Whatever I do to iskafia. Iskafia means to overcome. Huh? Yeah. It's overcoming my desire. Every time I break myself, boom, that's it.
Okay.
You know, there's a famous Gemara, we'll finish with this paragraph. The Talmidei Chachamim, every morning, when they get up in the morning, they ate breakfast at 11 o'clock. Most people used to eat breakfast at 9 o'clock, in the times of the Talmud. So the Talmud says, what did they do from 9 to 11? Why did they eat breakfast at 11? Why not at 9? So hear what they hear this thing. They ate the same bagel and gefilte fish, whatever they ate, I don't know, whatever they ate. But they said, listen, if we're going to eat 9 o'clock, that's when we want to eat.
You're not breaking anything.
I'm not breaking my nature.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is for 2 hours I'm going to study, and I'm going to eat at 11 o'clock. So now I did a skavia, boom, they get this response from Hashem in a much higher level.
But then they have to have lunch at 2.
No, who cares about lunch? Right?
This is the still saying said פיתחו לי חור של מחט ואפתח לכם.
חוד של מחט ואני אפתח לחפש לשאול. Yeah. So, but it has to be your initiating. Your initiation. Yeah.
But basically what you're saying, the initiation has to come from within.
And then Hashem will respond on a much higher response than if it was from Hashem himself.
But you know, sometimes it happens to you when you think about those things and you say, oh, I really want to do something. Maybe it's something pleasurable or something, and say, you know what? Should I try to break myself, or it doesn't really matter on this thing? And I don't know the answer. You know what I mean?
It depends. It depends on it. I'll give you one more. I once asked a great mashpia. I said to him, how do I know if when I'm eating, am I eating because, or I'm eating just because I want to eat? So he says very simple. He says, let's say you have fish or salad, whatever, and you're taking your first portion of fish and salad. He says, whatever in your mind you want to fill in your plate the first time, fill it. Fill your plate with salad, whatever it is, and finish it. But if you want to take a second portion of that, that's already too late. Because in your mind, when you went, you already took what you thought you wanted.
The Rambam talks about it.
But if you're going for the second one, that's already the animal.
That's more than you need.
Yeah. Now let's go to soup. I want a big bowl of soup. Okay, take a big bowl of soup. But if I'm taking now now I want another one, that's already the animal. You get what I'm trying to say?
100%.
So, that's when it comes to eating. But then now let's go with.
This is why to show control, which is
very hard. Very hard. Now when it comes to, let's say, talking, How do I know when to stop talking? I don't mean learning, because learning, the Torah says you could talk v'dibarta bam. What is v'dibarta bam? Just talk in Torah. I talk a whole day in Torah. But talking about the Iran, Iraq, whatever. When do I stop? The Torah says simple. Once you already have information, just to repeat it and just give another, that doesn't gain anything. Okay, I need information because if Iran is going to be bombarded this Shabbos, I shouldn't fly to Israel for this week. Okay, so I have the information. But if they go, that's
already. When you're with friends and you say funny things, right? And then you start saying funny things about, let's say, a person, and you think, I don't really hate this person. I just think that it's very funny, and you want to move on. But then you're like, but am I? Can I say something funny?
No,
and then you don't want to say anything, and then you're not funny anymore.
Would they funny how? Funny how? Do I miss it? Oh, you're good.
Let's finish this paragraph. V'hine al pi zeh yuvan. Now makes sense. Ish mazriya tchila. It's on the left column, the top. Yoledes nekeva. What does it mean? Ish mazriya tchila. V'hainu kashes oires b'neshamas yisol nimshechem chenesusa del elabom u'mayla mi'atzmai. When we get inspired from Hashem, not we inspired, Hashem inspires us. She'im yois. Even though when Hashem inspires us, it comes from a very high level. But like when God created the world, you only get the exterior. Like when Hashem creates the world, it's only exterior. So therefore, when Hashem inspires you, it's nekeva, it's very small, because when it comes from Hashem, it doesn't last. But when you inspire, you're initiating, and it comes from you, when then you let us zachar, you're going to have ava rabba, you're going to have a strong love. Why? It's interesting, the interesting thing, the difference in Chabad, Hasidim, and other Hasidus. I just want to say an interesting thing. In other Hasidus, they believe that you don't teach this to everyone. You don't learn Shir Hashirim Torah or to all of us. The Rebbe, he learns this, and we get inspired by the Rebbe. The Rebbe inspires us. But for us to go sit and understand the difference between your Susala Tata and Susala, it's not for us. So we're like inspired by a... Chabad says no. I want you to start learning Chassidut, understanding a little about God, understanding about your Nefesh HaBahamis, understanding, and work. Even though it's not going to be as lofty as the Rebbe, but it's going to be yours. And if it's yours, it's a Sezusa de Latata. It's a Momata Lamaila. Then that inspiration will create Zachar, which is permanent. So it's interesting, there was a 5-star general in the